Alright, the day's finally come where I decided to replace the John Deere STX38. It served me so well for so many years, but it's time to move on to something a little bit more dependable. So as they unload the new tractor off the truck, I'll go ahead and reveal to you that I decided to go with a Craftsman. I know what you're thinking. I know what the comments are going to be. I shopped for John Deere, Cub Cadet, Aaron's, Husqvarna. I shopped a lot, and I'm going to go through with you the process that I used to determine that this is the right machine for me. Okay, if you're shopping and comparing lawnmowers, one of the big things you're going to see right off the get-go, as they trade up in price, you'll see that the deck size increases. For me, the deck size was not real important. The STX38 had a 38-inch deck. This one's got the 42. It's fine because I've got a enclosed area for my dogs, and I need to get into that area, and I don't want to have to move any of the fence posts. So I really didn't want a larger deck size. Not to mention, in my experience with this grass, if I wait too long, the larger the deck size, the easier it clogs. You can see I've taken a couple of spins around with this so far, but I haven't really done any real cutting. Alright, if you're comparing lawnmowers, you're going to see that horsepower is another upsell. This one happens to be a 20 horse twin cylinder Kohler, 725 cc's. Now I did specifically shop for a twin cylinder, and I was trying to keep the price under $1,500, so I did pretty well. I got this one at about $1,375, and I got the twin cylinder Kohler. The next one I found with a twin cylinder in that price range was an Aaron's over at Home Depot. Had a Briggs & Stratton twin in it, but I like the Kohler engines. The John Deere has a Kohler Commander in it, and it served me real well. It does a great job in tall grass, which my yard tends to grow up a little bit before I mow. So okay, so I wasn't even thinking about Craftsman. Honestly, I walked into a Sears store and I saw these, and one of the first things I noticed is that it has a metal hood. I believe all of the previous ones that I mentioned, Cub Cadet, John Deere, Aaron's, and Husqvarna, all have plastic hoods. And on the STX38, the plastic hood didn't hold up so well for me. And I know these are, this thing's been out in the weather for, over 10 years, so what do you expect, right? But I wanted a metal hood. Now, maybe you don't want a metal hood because it's going to rust. Plastic is going to chip and fade. I mean, they have their pros and cons, but if it rusts, it's still not going to fall off its hinges like that one has. So I wanted the metal hood. So that's what kind of set me in the direction of looking at Craftsman. In the stores, they didn't have this 20 horse. What they had was, I believe, a 19 horse for $1,450, and it had tight turn technology. I believe it's like a 9-inch turning radius. This one does not have the tight turn technology. I believe it's an 18-inch turn radius. It does have the cast iron front end, which was important to me with a larger engine like this. Over time, and you can actually see it on that one if I parked it in the garage, with the weight of the engine and going over rough terrain, the steel front end actually develops a little bit of a bow in it, and the tires kind of sag outward. So I wanted the cast iron front end, especially with the larger engine. Tight turn technology wasn't real important to me in this yard. I have a lot of straight mowing. I don't have any tight turns or a lot of things to mow around. So this is what we ended up with. Okay, now this does have, I was kind of hoping for a hydrostatic. I wanted something that you just set it and go, but this has got the foot pedal, the automatic transmission they call it. I believe it's a continuously variable transmission, or CVT, which is a lot like what you would see on your snowmobile, your four-wheeler. You've got a belt and two clutches, and they adjust based on the centrifugal force. So that's what this has, and how well it holds up, time will tell. I know I have no worries about the engine, but being a Craftsman, some of the things that I know people will experience, and probably will say in the comments below, spindle bearings will go, but there again, in my experience, spindle bearings and how long they last, a lot of it will depend on how well balanced your blades are. So if your blades are out of whack, it's putting a lot more force on those bearings, whereas if they're balanced, it's just going to spin. If you've got a big chunk taken out of one side of your blade, it's coming around, it's creating a lot of wobble, and that'll wear out your spindle bearing. So time will tell how well this holds up. Now I didn't see a deck gauge thickness on this particular model in the specs, but I believe it's comparable. For all the units in this price range, for me, with the 20 horse Kohler at about $13.75, this was the one I ended up with. So let me fire it up a little bit, take a pass, throw some grass at the camera, and then we'll go from there. So there you have it. Craftsman 42-inch cut, twin cylinder Kohler, about $13.75 delivered plus tax. So it ended up being about $14.50 tax and all, which was in my price range. I got the twin cylinder, I got the Kohler. So time will tell how it holds up. So far, I like it. Of course, I don't really, the grass isn't deep enough yet to cut, so maybe when I get some deep grass, and I always end up waiting too long to mow, I'll see how she does. Maybe we make another video. Go ahead and leave those questions and comments below. I know what some of you are going to say. Buy a Deere, buy a Cub Cadet, why buy a Craftsman? But trying to take a brand agnostic approach towards this purchase. And so far I'm pretty happy with it, but time will tell. There you go. Thanks for watching. Leave questions and comments below and hit that subscribe button if you want to see more of this type of thing. I'm sure when it breaks I'll have an opportunity to fix it, and I might do a little bit more work on the old SCX38. I'm going to make that my field mower, so I'll use that to mow out in the field there. So thanks for watching. Have fun.